How to behave appropriately at a house party full of complete strangers. Warning, some audiences may find this content disturbing. View at your own discretion. Welcome to the House of Reddit. Today, we share some recent r/TodayIFuckedUp stories posted on Reddit. How to behave appropriately at a house party full of complete strangers. Me, 18, girlfriend at the time just started uni, she was moving up north to stay in a student apartment. Wanted me to come and meet the gang. I have terrible social anxiety. So I get up there, and obviously the night starts with drinks. They're all poor students, so drinks in the apartment. Drinking games ensue. Now, I'm awkward and don't really know how to start a decent chat with a stranger, so what do? I hit the hard liquor hard. Anyone ever played that game Roxanne? Where you listen to Roxanne by the Police and drink when he says Roxanne. I start this with straight vodka. Now it was by Ob, so I brought a 70 centiliters of vodka with me which I intended to share, did I? Nah man, I drank it within 40 minutes of arriving. The last thing I recall of that night was shuffling cards. I woke up next morning. In a bed. Really comfy, my first thought. Fuck, I'm comfy. Where the fuck am I? I roll over and see my girlfriend on the floor. I reach over and shake her. And at the same time also silently notice that my head feels like it was recently rattled with a hammer. Fuck off. Don't fucking touch me. Obviously, when this is what you're greeted with in the morning, you immediately begin to panic. I ask what I've done wrong and I get the response. You're covered in your own sick. I hastily rip the covers off me. My t-shirt was now green and yellow. My jeans were damp. I asked what the fuck happened last night, and this is what I am told. Remember when I was shuffling cards? Well, apparently I blacked out. I just fell to one side on the couch and went unresponsive. Everyone freaked the fuck out. Two of the guys took my arms and legs and carried me to my girlfriend's room. They lay me on the floor, at which point I woke up very suddenly and exclaimed that I needed to spew. Before anyone could even move to grab a bucket, I threw up down myself and curled into a ball where I continued to vomit. I stopped after producing a few puddles of vodka-infused stomach juice and said I needed to go to the toilet. My girlfriend's room was en suite. So she helped me up and I somehow staggered through. Now the next part is just theorized to a point, but I was informed that this is likely the events that happened. I went into the bathroom, pulled my jeans down. Began to piss fine. My girlfriend knocked after an appropriate amount of time and asked if I was okay and if she could come in. I apparently said yes, but I was still pissing and had no clue what had just been asked, so I just said yes. My girlfriend entered, much to my horror. I spun around on the spot with the grace of 1,000 drunken kung fu masters, all the while still pissing and showering the floor in urine while aiming my pecker at my girlfriend. She screamed. Understandably, the piss was making the tile floor like an ice rink for my Converse, and thus, I slip in my piss, cock still in hand, fall and hit my head off the toilet cistern, reach out to grab something on the way down and inadvertently push the shower door open and crack myself in the side of the head with the swinging open door. I then pass out. So, my girlfriend had to just pull up my pissy jeans, then ask two dudes she'd known less than 48 hours to help her carry her piss-soaked, vomit-covered boyfriend into her bed. I went back to visit twice after that. My girlfriend then started cheating on me with one of the dudes. I've barely drank since, and while thinking about it, I could have died at multiple points that night. I kick out a roommate who told everyone about my private life. I, 17 female, have my birthday in later part of the year, whereas my BF, 19, call him S, has his in January. We are 2 years apart, but I have also known him since I was 4 years old, as he was my neighbor. We lived in the same house, his parents had rented out the first floor, and we had moved in there. He was my first kiss at 11, and honestly, I can't imagine him not being there in my life. Even when we moved houses, I always kept in touch with him. Between the two of us, I am extroverted and more outgoing, whereas he has always been shy. My mom tells me I used to bully him out of his bike so that I could ride it when I was 7, and that when someone stole his Beyblades in school, I went to fight them, and actually got some back. I have never even seen the age factor in our relationship. If anything, I feel like I am more persuasive than him, who's way too easygoing. We shifted back to each other when I was 12, and I think we had a fight for 1 year because his game controller got broken by my younger sister, but then by the time I was 13, I have always had a crush on him. We went out like kids when I was 13, and then it was like a small thing, until he asked me out properly when I was 15. I started 11th grade in a different city than my hometown because it's tiny and I needed more exposure and wanted to live away from my family due to some issues. I am in a boarding school now. My boyfriend is in uni now and he occasionally comes by to meet me on the weekends whenever he's free. My parents registered him as my local guardian because then we can both take the train back home together rather than them coming to pick me up. Now here's where the problem started. I met a lot of new people of course and became friends with a lot of them as well. I have 3 other roommates, and while I get along well with 2 of them, we have shared subjects and interest, the other one is a bit too extra. I am not used to people like her. She is fun to be around but like she has some extremes. She pleaded with us until we all played like Strip Truth and Dare with her, and generally forces for a lot of things I am not comfortable doing. I am not very vocal about my relationship, because while I am completely in love with him, he's not half of my personality and vice versa. I also did not want to be known as the girl with a boyfriend from college. Either way, there was a 3-day weekend for both of us and my BF, S came to actually pick me up. We were going to be staying with his aunt, that I know very well because of how close our families are. We went on a pretty nice date to a restaurant that's a bit fancy and apparently, he had been saving up. Just then, my other roommate, comes over our table and she's all like, "I didn't know you were out. Are you with a relative?" We had been holding hands, and stuff like, it was obvious we were on a date. S later told me I had like a blank expression, which was like, what the fuck on my face. S just said that we were on a date. Then this girl goes, "Oh, I didn't know she has a boyfriend. Did you guys start seeing each other now?" And she sat down on the chair where my bag was kept. Like, hello, who invited you? I butted in because, duh, and went like, we have been together for a while, it's actually an important date, so I will see you back in school. I see her every day in school, do I have to see her outside as well? She said that she was picking up an order for something and would be out quick, so I was like, okay fine, because maybe she didn't want to sit alone. Either way she started introducing herself, so did S. When she asked about his studies, she talked about college and the whole thing. He is doing engineering, and is in his 2nd year now. Still, her order was delivered and she went home. I thought that was the end of it. A month later, the holy virus came upon us and sent me and S packing back to our hometown. The reason I wanted to move out was because my grandmother is sick. We live in a large house but have several family members like uncles and cousins. I am the oldest of all the kids, and the next one, my sister, is in 5th grade. I had to give up my bedroom to be turned into the care room/medical room for my grandmother with a hospital bed and all. The kids have their own place, so I was sleeping on a mattress in my parents' room. Due to COVID, the situation is now worse and S's brother didn't come home because he's an essential worker. My mom asked his mom if I can move in with them for a while because they don't have tiny kids running around who close your laptop during class because they want you to give them piggyback ride. We are raising demons. Well, S moved into his brother's room and I into his, and since then our relationship has progressed. We weren't very physical earlier but now I really can't imagine not staying with him, because it had been so long. We are actually like discussing our future and stuff. My roommate is in the same class group as me for 12th grade, so we often see each other online a lot. She started like passing some comments about things here and there about how she is so bored alone, and so I started talking to her a bit more than before. S's parents are like my youngest siblings' godparents, so we are that cool. I was prepping for a group discussion online in the living room, because we wanted only one AC to be working in the house. S was doing some stuff as well. He got up to get some Coke or something from his refrigerator and was shirtless, because it was actually hot. He passed me a Coke as well and went back to his laptop. The roommate saw him and went all like, "Oh my god, are you talking to us after sex?" I am not comfortable discussing my sexual and even my personal life in front of the other 3 people who had the misfortune of being online then. I was like, dude, no. What the fuck? It's too hot here and the AC is taking some time to cool down. Then she went on about how I am in a live-in relationship. I don't think I am because my house is literally across the road. I take my showers there because my bathroom has the rainfall shower and eat there as well. I babysit my cousins and sibling every day as well. I just attend classes and sleep at night at S's place. Next week I hear from my other two roommates that she has been telling everyone about how I am in a live-in relationship with an older college guy. And the news even reached my homeroom teacher, who had an extended call with me and then my mom, about how I am being groomed. It clarified to an extent, but earlier when I was known as the girl with the good grades who wanted to go to law school, I am the lives with her boyfriend, has way too much sex person. I am just so angry about it. S has tried to be helpful by offering for him to stay with his brother, which is like so unnecessary. My parents as well have been thinking about getting a larger house, but with my grandma's bills and the beautiful virus upon us, there aren't any options. I cut contact with her and everything because I don't want to talk to her at all. Her assumptions have literally hurt so many things. My parents are worried that they aren't good enough at providing for me, but they paid for the boarding school, which isn't cheap, and there is no boarding anymore, and one of my uncles whose wife passed away came to live with us because our house has a yard and everything in which his children can play. My roommate blew up at me again after I decided to switch to a different group for presentations because honestly, whenever I see her face on screen I felt less like discussing public policy and more stabbing her with pencils. I have asked the school that in the event they reopen while I am still enrolled, to change the roommates as well. She would have gotten the request as well, and our other two roommates wanted her to be gone and me to stay. If you enjoy this video, please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. If you have any suggestions for future videos, please let us know in the comments below. Turn on the notifications to know when we post new videos. Thank you for coming to the House of Reddit.